It's here. Oh my god, you guys don't even know how long I have been waiting for this. In this package here, I have my most anticipated book of the whole year. An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't believe that I finally have a new S.T. Gibson book in my hands. So this is her newest release, her only release since she published A Dowry of Blood, which I read back in 2021. How dare this book be so beautiful? This already is just reading like a bestseller. How am I only 3 pages in and I'm already obsessed? Oh my god, why is this so good? It's very possible I just found my favorite book of the year so far. Possibly one of my all-time favorite books. So it has now been 3 years that I've been waiting. That I've been sitting here patiently waiting for a new S.T. Gibson book. This one is a Carmilla retelling. It's vampires, it's sapphic. It is a dark academia tale of blood, secrets, and insatiable hungers. I'm very excited. I'm also slightly nervous because this thing always happens when I have an author who I have only read one book from, but that one book is like a top tier all-time favorite. I get nervous to read another book from them because it can either go one of 2 ways. It's either gonna be another hit and this is gonna be an all-time favorite author, or it's gonna be the biggest letdown ever. So I'm gonna read this today. I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm feeling a lot of emotions. We're gonna start this. I've blocked off my entire day today of not doing anything else but reading this. I am 50 pages into An Education in Malice, and okay, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little jarring at first. Like the first couple chapters, I was like, what is this? Because I was expecting the writing to be similar to A Dowry of Blood, and it's not. It's very, very different. So that was just kind of not what I expected. Now that I'm 50 pages into it, I think I've gotten used to the writing, which in A Dowry of Blood, the writing was very lyrical and beautiful and poetic. It's just a little bit more basic, so I wasn't expecting that. But basically, what this is about is this takes place in the 60s and it's following a girl named Laura who is attending a college, and she's part of a writing program there for poetry. And so she's in this poetry class, and one of the girls in the class is named Carmilla, who's like the top girl in the class, like the teacher's pet. And in the first day of class, they both have to read a poem out loud that they wrote. And when Laura reads hers, Carmilla gets like jealous because there's now another student that she has competition with. So they're kind of in competition in this class of like who's the better writer, who is the professor of this class favoring more. It's dual POVs, so it's from both Laura and Carmilla's POVs. And in Carmilla's POV, we find out that the professor of this class is a vampire and feeds on Carmilla, and they have a very intense relationship with each other that you can already tell there is some sort of sinister power dynamic between the two of them. But there's also this like sexual desire and attraction between Carmilla and Laura. I'm also glad that I read Carmilla recently. I read it last summer for the first time, so that is also helping my like frame of reference for, you know, what this is a retelling of. I'm not having the same like visceral love for it that I had for A Dowry of Blood, which I was obsessed with after reading 1 page of that book. I'm not having that same feeling, but this could be more of one that like grows slowly throughout the book. I think I'm just having to adjust my expectations to like what it actually is. It has been a few days. You're now seeing this vlog a little bit out of order, but I have been struggling with wanting to talk about An Education in Malice. I haven't known what I wanted to say. I wanted to give it a couple days to like marinate because I didn't like it. The second that I finished reading it, I tried to articulate my thoughts. It didn't go well. just in shock. But I'm here now. I have collected my thoughts. I am just so incredibly disappointed. I can't remember the last time that I was this disappointed by a book. And to be fair, I could have been setting the book up for failure, but that was why I was waiting. I was waiting a couple days because I wanted to think about if I actually thought this book was bad or if it just could not live up to what A Dowry of Blood is to me. I think it's a little bit of both, but I also just think the book was bad. I was really going back and forth on like, is it 2 stars? Is it 3 stars? It's 2 stars. So here's my issues with this book. Number 1, I don't think what the book is marketed as is what it is because it's not a Carmilla retelling. The whole book I was like, okay, so when does it turn into Carmilla? And it never did. The only similarity it has to Carmilla is that the main characters are named Carmilla and Laura and there's vampires. Other than that, this is not Carmilla. So I'm like, why was it ever called a Carmilla retelling? I feel like that was just a way to make it fit in with A Dowry of Blood being Dracula, which I was so disappointed by because I'm like, I wanted Carmilla to get the Dowry of Blood treatment. That's what I wanted. That's what I feel like I was promised. And then we didn't get it. And I'm like, Carmilla deserves better. But I think I could have forgiven the fact that it wasn't actually a Carmilla retelling if it had just been good, but it wasn't. The writing was not good. I think when I was talking about it before, I was really trying so hard to be nice and like be open-minded. But I was so confused the first couple chapters. I was like, who wrote this? Because it's not the same person who wrote A Dowry of Blood. And I was really like gaslighting myself into trying to enjoy it. I didn't feel a connection to either of the characters, but especially Laura. Laura was so boring and annoying. And every time we went into her POV, I was like, ugh, I never felt a connection to any of this book. Which like, I'm sorry. The book has to be really bad for me not to find enemies to lovers, sexy, sapphic romance entertaining. The way that like I didn't even care about the spice because I'm like, I don't care about either of these characters. Ugh. There was also no plot. You should not have to read 50% of a book to get to the first plot point. That is insane. It just felt so repetitive, like the same scenes over and over and over and over, and I was so bored. I'm just so confused at the direction that this book took because I feel like it was the same themes as A Dowry of Blood, but way watered down. It was like, let's take the themes of A Dowry of Blood and only scratch the surface. I'm like, why was this written? For what reason? Because it's not Carmilla, it's nothing like A Dowry of Blood, and it's not even good. I'm also confused too because on S.T. Gibson's Instagram, not only is it called a Carmilla retelling, she also has like a little graphic that has like the tropes and stuff, and it has FFF. So I was thinking this was gonna be a female poly relationship. It's not. I'm so confused. I think all the marketing for this book was just lies and wrong, and I feel deceived, and I'm very upset and disappointed. Okay, what were the positives? Because I'm not giving it 1 star. The positives. I really liked the dark academia vibe. I think that the like academic setting was good. I saw potential in that. Oh, but also with the setting, this takes place in the 60s. Could have fooled me. This could have taken place last year. So is the only thing I liked about it, the dark academia vibes? I think so. Mayhaps, I think so. I'm so disappointed because this was my most anticipated book. Not just this year, this has been my most anticipated book since it was announced. I'm bamboozled. I'm like, who wrote this book? What is it? Who's it for? And I've talked to a lot of people in the past couple days who also love A Dowry of Blood and did not like this. So I don't know. I don't know what my conclusion here is because I'm just sad and I'm disappointed. I did not foresee this outcome, but I'm giving An Education in Malice 2 stars. After my very disappointing experience, I was really struggling with what to pick up next. So I just like randomly went through my Audible library and I just picked one. And the one that I picked was Forged by Magic by Jenna Wolfhart. And you guys, it's everything that I wanted right now. It's exactly what I needed to pick up my spirits. It's a like cozier fantasy romance about this half-orc who is forced to be a mercenary for the ice giants that took over her kingdom. And so he forces her to go track down illegal magic users and find this magical island. So she goes on a ship to find the island and ends up crashing. The ship wrecks and she ends up crashing on the island. And this elf finds her, and he knows that she's a mercenary, and everyone in the town on the island knows that she's a mercenary, so they're all very like suspicious of her. But she's stuck there for the next 6 weeks because that is when another ship is gonna come to the island and she can get off of it. On the island, they're doing this thing called like Midsummer Games, which is this like big festival, medieval style games where the winner of it gets to ask the island for a wish, and this magical island will grant the wish for them. In order for the elf guy to keep an eye on her, because he doesn't trust her, he is like, okay, I will let you stay with me if you become my assistant in the games. And so she kind of has to agree because she has nowhere else to stay on the island. It's so cute. It is so cute. Like, I am just loving it. I'm really loving it. I'm having a great time. It's so fun. I feel like it's kind of somewhere in the middle of like cozy versus not cozy. Like, it's not full cozy like Legends and Lattes, but it has that vibe to it with like a little bit more oomph, you know, like a little more something something. It's kind of giving me the vibes of like the Kimberly Lemming series, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I think I'm actually enjoying this more than that. So yeah, I'm loving it. I was reading it this morning and I like flew through the first half before I even realized it. I was halfway in and I'm like, I'm obsessed. But I'm not gonna read anymore right now because my mom is actually about to come pick me up because yesterday she called me and she was like, the pet store is having a sale, so we have to go. I was like, okay. So we're gonna go to the pet store and obviously buy pet things. And then I think we might do some other shopping. I don't know. We're just gonna have a little mother-daughter girls' day. Yeah. See, these are the kind that like you would accidentally eat.
Yeah.
Well, not you specifically, but they look good. I'm back from the pet store. Look, you wanna see what we got? Well, the first thing I got actually is not from the pet store. Oh, he's going in the bag. I got this shirt. It was on sale for like $6. Look, come here. Look, ooh. Oh my God. You got toothpaste. Toothpaste, you want one? You're gonna have very fresh breath. Oh my God, you're going crazy. You want a little toothpaste? Good boy. That's his dinner. You want a cookie? They're peanut butter and banana. Sit. Good boy. Oh my God, these smell really good. My mom and I were saying in the store that this brand, they all looked like human cookies. And I was like, people might actually be able to eat these. Like, what is in them? I think I could eat one. It's just peanut butter and banana. Yeah, honestly, these actually, they actually kind of look good. I forgot that I got this in the mail a couple days ago. Sorry. I'm gonna do a little unboxing because I'm so excited for this book. I think it actually comes out next week. Like, it comes out very soon, but it's A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I am so excited for this. It is a new Viking fantasy romance, and I really loved the Bridge Kingdom series by Danielle L. Jensen, so I'm very, very excited for this. It has kind of like bluish silver chrome edges that look really cool. I believe that all of the first editions of this book, like no matter where you buy it, all the first editions will come with the sprayed edges. It just sounds great, like a Viking fantasy romance. Sounds amazing. I really liked that show, The Vikings. I never ended up finishing it, but I watched like 4 seasons of that show and I really liked it. Specifically, I loved, I forget what her name was, but it was like the main female character and she was like a female Viking. Loved her. Oh, they also sent this little candle because this is a promo box that I got from the publisher. I always find the things that they put in here to be very random. I'm like, okay, thank you for this little tiny candle. Like, what does this have to do with the book? I don't know, nothing. They did throw a piece of chocolate in here, which I ate the second that I opened it. I got another package and I'm very excited for this one. It is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I've read From Lukov with Love and I enjoyed that, but I've never read another Mariana Zapata, and I've been told that of all of her books, this is the one that I might like. I ordered this from Blackwell's because I really wanted this cover. In the US, they only sell the new cover, which is like an illustrated, cartoony cover, and I don't know, I don't really like it. So I wanted this cover because I think this cover's cute. I think this is like a small town romance too, which you guys know I've been into lately. Yeah, it's a small town in the mountains, and there is a very slow burn romance between her and her landlord, who's grumpy apparently. I don't know, sounds great. I'm excited to read that. I am now going to go back to reading Forged by Magic. Hopefully I'm gonna finish it now because like I said, I literally flew through the first half this morning without even meaning to, so it's a very quick read. Loki is currently passed out in bed from his treat excitement. So now's the perfect time for me to snuggle in and finish this book because he will not bother me for the next couple of hours. I just finished Forged by Magic and it was so cute and fun. It was exactly what I wanted. Like, I just wanted something fun. And I really, really liked this world and this style where it was just like cozy, but it had more meat to it. Like, there was more of a plot. But I will say, the more that I read this, the more it felt cozy to me. I just think the reason why it felt less cozy as Legends and Lattes is because Legends and Lattes is very low stakes. I feel like this one was higher stakes and more plot, but still very cozy. Anytime they like were met with an obstacle that you were thinking like, oh my god, shit's gonna hit the fan, something bad's gonna happen, they always found a way around it, which I can see for some readers that being kind of annoying. I personally really liked it. I liked that it just stayed light and fun, but there was a lot of like more plot and more meat to it and more going on, if that makes sense. I'm so excited for book 2 because I think book 2 is following the hero's sister in this book, and she runs a traveling tavern. I really, really liked her. Also, this has dragons. There's dragons in here. I don't know, this was just so unexpected and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. There was a couple things where I was like, the writing isn't the best, but it wasn't so bad that it was like I wasn't enjoying it. It just was a little clunky at times, but I still obviously really enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars. Very fun, much more enjoyable than my last book. So I started reading Anne of Green Gables. I'm doing a whole challenge this year where I am pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and trying to read a bunch of classics. And this is one that I have always wanted to read because I love the Netflix show adaptation. It is turning into spring. It's getting warmer outside, and something about this book gives me spring vibes. So it feels like a good time to read it. Also, this edition, stunning. So I actually downloaded the audiobook. On Audible, there was an audio version narrated by Julia Whalen, who I love, and it was only $1. So I was like, let me get that one because there's actually so many different audiobook versions of Anne of Green Gables. And I'm gonna be honest, most of the narrators, they're not giving. They're really not very good. I started it, I'm like 2 hours into the audio. So I'm like, oh my god, okay, I'm like 75 pages in. Oh wow, that was more than I thought it was. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's actually interesting because so far it is like very, very similar to the show, because so far what I've read is I think the first episode of the show, and it was like beat for beat the same. However, now I think it's starting to get a little bit different. So I'm almost getting the vibe that the first episode of the show was exactly the same, and then they sort of go in different directions. But tonally, like the vibe is the same. So I'm enjoying the book a lot. I've kind of just been listening to it today while I've been doing chores because I'm trying to clean my house. It's pretty messy right now. So I've just been listening to this and doing some cleaning, which is probably what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. I am getting ready to go live on my Patreon and do some reading sprints. So I think while I'm doing sprints, I will continue to clean and listen to my audiobook. All right, here is what my living room looks like now. It looks a lot better. I'm currently on reading sprints, so that's why I have all that set up over there, but it looks a lot better. Literally before, every single surface was covered with stuff. The floor was covered, like it was messy, but looks cute now. I'm gonna pick out my next read, and I really wanna read a historical romance because I just recently organized them all in my TV stand, like I used to have them, and I went through my whole collection, and I really want to get back into my historical romance era. So I actually think The one that I'm gonna choose is one of these by Eva Lee. I think this one, yeah, The London Underground. This is a series about women who are criminals. And I'm like, that just sounds so fun. I'm pretty sure in this one, she is a con woman. She meets the Duke and he is her mark, but he falls completely in love with her, and then she disappears for 2 years and he's been searching for her ever since. And then he finds out that she conned him. And that just sounds really fun. This is the one that I'm gonna pick up and read. I am at my parents' house right now because I am pet sitting. And oh my God, it's been a night and a morning and I'm exhausted. I'm looking after 4 dogs and a cat, and they are all, I love them. They're all driving me crazy. They're all driving me crazy. Since I've been here, the cat has brought me 2 gifts. One being a lizard and the other one being the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life. Girl, no, take that away. No, do not. Oh my God, don't bring that in the kitty door. Do not bring that in the cat door. No, 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 no. They're all taking a nap right now, so I finally have time to get back into my book. And hopefully none of them bother me for the next hour or so. But I am really, really enjoying this. Basically, like I said before, this is about a woman who is a con artist, and her mark was this Duke. And they ended up spending like a summer together, and she was like working him for money, and he completely is like fallen head over heels for her. And he gives her the money that she needs, and then the next morning she's gone and disappeared, and he's been looking for her ever since, and he calls her his lost queen. So then in the first chapter, he goes to a new like gambling place with his friends, and he sees her there and she's working there, and he's like, oh my God, I found my lost queen. And she's like, oh shit, because he doesn't know yet that she conned him, but I think he's about to find out that she is not who she said she is. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I really, really like historical romances where the heroine is not a virgin. And so especially the fact that like they've already slept together and he's already in love with her. I'm like, yes, I think that just is so interesting and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, I just read more of this, still really enjoying it, but I just remembered, I forgot to tell you guys, I finished Anne of Green Gables and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. I don't think I liked it as much as the show. And that might just be a case of like, I prefer the thing that came first for me. But I think I wasn't expecting the book to be more like, it was almost like vignette style, and like a bunch of the chapters skipped, like time jumped a lot, which I wasn't expecting. I feel like in the show, it's a little bit more like day after day after day, but the book was more like in spring, and then it's summer, and then it's fall, and then it's a year later, and then, you know, the book actually covers, I think, 4 years of time, and all 3 seasons of the show happen in the first 70% of the book. And I was like, oh. And then there's something that happens at the end of the book that had not happened in the show yet. And I was, oh, I gasped. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I actually have a feeling that I'm gonna like the rest of the books better because now I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm curious to see what the rest of the plots are because I believe the rest of the series now is following Anne as an adult, which is also something that I didn't expect. I thought she would be a kid in the books for much longer. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I read it, especially because it's something that I've always wanted to read. And I am very excited now to continue on in that series. Also, I will say, I haven't done as much reading as I wanted to do today because the new episodes of Love is Blind came out today. And so of course I immediately had to watch. And I'm like, why is every man in this show belong in the garbage? What is going on? I actually need the casting directors of Love is Blind to come forward and explain themselves because what is happening? It's actually crazy. I just finished my book and it was so cute. I really, really liked it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Had a great time. It's definitely gotten me back into my historical romance mood and I wanna read a bunch more now. I think I'll read the next one in this series because I loved it. I loved the heroine being like the criminal and her kind of being the one that has to grovel. But also the fact that when the hero, like when he found out that she's a con artist, he was obviously like so heartbroken and angry, but like he was still so soft for her. Like he just couldn't help it. He was like, I'm never gonna trust her again. She's a liar and a terrible person. But then like the second that she needs anything, he's like, what do you need help with? Can I help you? There's a wasp flying around me. Okay, I'm going back inside. We're gonna end this vlog now, but I'm very glad that after my disappointing read, I found some other books that I really enjoyed. So this vlog was not entirely a flop. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Do you have anything you wanna say? Any closing words? Wow, very well said.